Look around and you will see the exact same conditions being placed on human happiness. People tell themselves they will finally relax when they get that promotion. They will be happy when they make more money. They will travel when the kids are grown. And they will actually do what they love once they retire. Underneath all these promises is a quiet psychological trap. Younger generations in particular operate under the heavy delusion that they possess an unlimited resource: time. This creates a state of living on autopilot. Instead of actively experiencing the present moment, individuals merely go through the motions. They check boxes. They spend decades trying to meet external expectations set by their parents, their teachers, or their peers. Adhering to this default societal script means taking your only guaranteed asset, the present, and gambling it entirely on an imaginary, perfectly timed future that may never arrive. At 52 years old, Peter Whitmore had successfully acquired all the traditional markers of a well-lived life. He made partner at his firm, he bought the nice house, and he had secured the total respect of his colleagues. Then his timeline abruptly broke. He was sitting in a routine meeting discussing quarterly projections when the room started spinning. The next memory he has is waking up in a hospital bed with tubes coming out of his arms, surviving a near-fatal cardiac event. Lying in that bed, forced into absolute stillness, a terrifying realization washed over him. His timeline was finite. If his heart had permanently stopped that afternoon, he would have left behind a retirement account and a collection of achievements, but he hadn't truly been alive. Coming face to face with death instantly evaporates the illusion of someday. It exposes the extreme fragility of our carefully constructed future plans, revealing that we have been taking our existence completely for granted. Look at this chart of our emotional state. You achieve a goal, hit a peak, and feel amazing. But biology takes over, crashing to baseline. You chase larger goals in an endless cycle, like spending 30 years climbing a ladder leaning against the wrong wall. The fatal flaw in this upward trajectory is that time is strictly unidirectional. You cannot climb back down that ladder. You cannot rewind the clock and regain the decades you spent chasing the wrong objective. Because the goalposts keep moving and the finish line is programmed to constantly recede out of reach, traditional success is a mathematically terrible life goal. Consider a man who spent his entire life working 70-hour weeks to build a multi-million-dollar business. He never took a real vacation, always promising he would slow down next year. Next year arrived with a fatal stroke, leaving behind a son who stood at his funeral and admitted he barely knew his father. Or consider Peter's own father, who died unexpectedly when Peter was 45. Their relationship was complicated, but Peter was always too busy to work on it. The legacy left behind was a series of uncalled Sundays and skipped dinners, entirely lost to the excuse of busyness. When the end comes, people do not lie awake at night mourning failed business deals or missed financial projections. Those specific anxieties simply vanish. The true architecture of human regret is built entirely on errors of omission. It is the trip to Japan that was never taken. It is the book that was never started, the risks avoided out of fear, and the love left completely unexpressed. Time does not pause to accommodate our career ambitions. The cost of prioritizing busyness over human relationships is permanent, leaving us with a ledger of missed opportunities that cannot be balanced later. Over the last 21 years, Peter has operated under a new reality, living on borrowed time. He stepped back from work and made radical changes to his daily priorities. This exposes a striking paradox about human nature. Deeply understanding that your time is severely limited is the exact psychological shift required to actually start living. The elements that make up a fulfilled life are embarrassingly simple. It comes down to spending time with the people you love, prioritizing rich experiences over physical possessions, and practicing profound presence in your daily interactions. Embracing this simple framework requires active defense. You have to start aggressively saying no to the obligations and expectations that drain your finite energy. A meaningful legacy isn't built by acquiring future accolades or waiting for permission to be happy. It is built by aggressively prioritizing joy and genuine connection right now, in the present. So you have to ask yourself one absolute diagnostic question and answer it honestly. If you died tomorrow, would you be genuinely satisfied with the life you have lived so far? Life will always be messy, complicated, and full of very logical reasons to wait. A perfectly calm, convenient moment to start living the life you want is never going to naturally arrive. Stop waiting for permission from society. Stop delaying your joy until someday. Start taking trips you dream about. Start making those phone calls. And start doing the things that scare you right now. Time is running out much faster than we perceive. The life you are waiting to live needs to begin today, because today is the only time you actually have.